So I've been vegan for more than 16 years now, and I told you before, like my taste buds are happy, my body is happy, and I feel like my diet is one of abundance, not one of lack. So what exactly do I eat on an everyday, like every week basis, and why do I choose to eat just that? In the mornings, I actually have stopped having like a normal breakfast. I feel like my brain gets so drowsy after eating, and my morning hours up until lunch are my most like highly focused hours. So I don't want to like cloud them with being, a bit kind of food comatose. So I will in general just have like a little bit of a snack in the morning, like a few spoons of David's porridge or some nuts or some berries, that type of thing. But most importantly, one of the main ingredients in my home, one thing that, the day just don't feel right without, is green tea. I know green tea is a bit of a divider. A lot of people don't like the taste of it and says it tastes like grass or hay, which I can see, yeah. But what can I say? Apparently, I kind of like the taste of grass and hay because I'm not like drinking green tea to be good or healthy. I'm drinking green tea because it's a tasty thing that I treat myself to, which just happens to also be, very good for me. So my favorite, and I told you this before, is to make my own blend of organic sencha, which is a Japanese green tea with a bit of like matcha powder mixed in, because what can I say? Apparently I like the taste of grass. I also like bancha, jasmine tea, and genmai cha, which is like green tea mixed with roasted brown rice. So weird and so tasty. I have like a huge pot. I think it's probably like 1.7 liters with like a tea light under it to keep the tea warm. And then I just sip all through the morning. Can you imagine the antioxidants that I'm like flushing my system with every morning? Remarkable. But I've heard like some people say that you can get a stomach ache from drinking too much green tea. Have you ever heard this too? I've never noticed anything of the sort, and I mean, I drink a lot. Also, of course, there is like caffeine in green tea, and I think it's about half as much as in coffee, but I don't notice anything weird there either. Like I don't get wired or anything when I drink green tea. So I'm team sencha for sure. Lunch is then my first real meal of the day. So when it comes to David's and my everyday diet, it's more or less the same every day, all the time, year round, on repeat. And it has been for like the last 10 or 12 years. Honestly, I've been on this basic diet like a big chunk of my life, and I couldn't be more pleased with it. Like, I'm a gourmand and I love nothing more than eating and drinking good things. And still, after more than like a decade eating more or less the same basic diet, I'm still like so excited to sit down every single lunch, every single dinner. So if I were to describe my diet, I would have to use a phrase which sounds so very unsexy: whole foods, plant-based. Sounds like the opposite of appetizing, doesn't it? Whole foods, plant-based. So what that means is just that I don't eat animal products and that I try to eat foods as unprocessed as possible. So basically, like the main bulk of my diet is made up of grains, legumes, vegetables, fruit, nuts, and seeds. Did I miss anything there? So on like an everyday basis, my lunch and dinner will usually be soup, congee, or a salad. And the base for the soup will be noodles, and for congee, which is basically rice cooked until it's like a gruel or a porridge, I make it with like half brown rice and half red lentils. It doesn't sound nice, but it's actually gorgeous, like nutty, hearty, warming mush. Regarding the noodles, I'm not like a big fan of eating, like white rice or white wheat. So I tend to go with other kinds of noodles, like soba noodles, for example, which are made of buckwheat, or konjac noodles or bean noodles. And in our salads, we usually either add noodles or roasted sweet potatoes. So that's like the bulk of the carbs that I eat, I would say. I want to say a big thank you to Ritual for sponsoring this week's video. I mentioned before that I've taken vitamins ever since going vegan, but also like way before that, to be honest. It's always been important to me to make sure that I fill up on the nutrients that I worry that I won't otherwise get enough of. Usually I'll take a multivitamin, but the one essential nutrient that I'm absolutely most careful with is B12, since that's the vitamin especially important for us vegans. I also normally take a vitamin D, especially during the dark grey London winter months, and from time to time omega-3 and plus a turmeric pill every day, because I love the anti-inflammatory benefits of turmeric, but I absolutely hate the taste. So I was thrilled when Ritual approached me to try out their multivitamin essential for women. This is formulated for women between 18 and 49, so perfect for me, and if you look at my demographic stats here on YouTube, perfect for most of you as well. Okay, so Ritual's multivitamin is clinically backed and designed to bridge nutrient gaps, specifically in women's diets. What's more, it boasts high quality, clean ingredients that are vegan friendly, gluten free and free from major allergens. Plus, it's non-GMO, project verified and cruelty free. So basically, all the stuff that I care about. Ritual also makes sure to share where their key ingredients come from and why they're there so that you can feel confident in the Ritual that you take every day. And here's a plus, you can take it anytime with or without food, so it's beyond convenient. So fellow women 18 to 49 and everyone else too for that matter, why not give Ritual a try for yourself? Simply click the link ritual.com/jennymustard and use my promo code jennymustard to enjoy a very nice 25% discount on your first order. Ritual ships to the UK, US and Canada. So go treat your body to a little nutrient boost, and once again, a huge thank you to Ritual for their support. Now let's get back to the video. By the way, last year I made a video about my vegan diet and how it has evolved in the last 15 years since I became vegan, and the unexpected effects physically and mentally of eating this way. So I'll leave links to that video if you're curious and want to take a little look. To me, a meal is not a meal if it doesn't have a dark green. My favorites are kale, spinach, broccoli and seaweed, and usually my meals are a mix of 2 or 3 of these. In my noodle soup, for example, I will have both broccoli and spinach, and with my congee, I like both kale and seaweed. If you don't like these dark green vegetables, I just have to ask, do you overcook them? I feel like in Western cooking, veg is usually cooked beyond recognition, and it just kills the mood so bad. Lightly steaming or lightly sauteing or even raw, it's so much better. Dippity dipped in some soy sauce or smoked salt flake. Very tasty. Also, of course, we know that dark leafy greens and beetroot are the healthiest foods we can eat, more or less. As for protein, all these things that I mentioned already has protein in them, of course, but for more protein dense foods, in my household, tofu is queen. Any type of tofu, silken or firm or scrambled or smoked or fermented, all tofus are welcome. I have no idea why tofu has such a bad reputation. Just pan frying it in a little bit of oil until golden with salt and pepper, and it's like a snack, so delicious. I also like silken tofu with a bit of black salt, which is a salt that tastes of sulfur, which basically means it tastes like egg. So combined, it's like eating a boiled egg. I also love chickpeas. I love them. I don't eat them that often. They're not a part of my everyday diet. It's more like a weekend treat. Again, I can eat them just with a sprinkle of salt as a snack. Lentils are also my favorites, red lentils in the congee, but I have to recommend beluga lentils or black lentils. Have you tried these? They're firm and round, like caviar, hence the name beluga, and they are so good in salads. But all lentils are good lentils if you ask me, and so cheap and so healthy. Brown rice and lentils, does it get much cheaper and healthier than that? If you look at volume and mass, the biggest category of food that I eat is raw veggies. Usually red bell peppers, cucumber, radishes, carrots and lettuce. Oh, and red onions. If a meal doesn't crunch, I'm not really going to like it that much. So besides from the soup or congee and the lightly cooked dark greens, I'll add raw pepper and raw red onion to every meal, plus have a big bowl of, cucumbers and radishes and carrots or whatever on the side. I do not portion control. I eat until I'm stuffed. Eating is my happiest. I love the feeling, and I get honestly a little bit depressed by small portions. I want to keep eating for a long time, and I want to feel round and full and cozy tired afterwards. A belly full of warm, good, spicy soup. What could feel better? Honestly, honestly, I can feel my stomach actually growling talking about this. Can you maybe even hear it through the mic? Okay, so if we have a bowl of congee or soup or salad, then the dark greens, then the tofu or lentils, and then the raw veggies, there is still the most important thing of all missing, because eating this would be excruciatingly unsatisfying without the most important ingredient, the seasoning. I'm a condiment obsessed. With a name like mine, I guess it's not very surprising, is it? And yes, I can confirm I eat mustard every day. So for soup and congee, the holy trinity of seasoning for me is soy sauce, vinegar, and hot sauce. And then I sprinkle like a healthy dose of nutritional yeast on top. I go for a soy sauce without sugar or any other junk. And my favorite is to keep like a jar of it in the fridge with grated ginger and garlic. Such an unbeatable combination. For vinegar, I like either brown rice or apple cider. But for hot sauce, I'm kind of having issues. I love sriracha, but I haven't found sriracha without sweetener. And at the moment, I'm really being mindful of sugars. So I'm doing like Tabasco or other spicy sauces, but it's just not as good. So if you have a recommendation for a good hot sauce without weird stuff or sugars, please do let me know. For my raw veggies, I like to dip them in mustard or white miso or fermented tofu. Fermented tofu you can get in like Chinese supermarkets or online. It's like little cubes of tofu that have been fermenting for ages in rice wine and like different seasonings. It tastes a little like a stinky cheese, like a blue cheese or something funky. I'm addicted. It's my favorite. I like to eat it like as a dip or, mixed with rice or, like spread on a cracker. If you haven't tried this yet, you haven't truly lived. Recommend. For snacking and for dessert after dinner, I love berries. All berries. The sourer, the better. Berries, they are the healthiest fruit, but come on, they're also the tastiest. I also always have like grapes in the fridge because, they're less expensive than berries and because they're so convenient, you don't have to like prepare them. Because when it comes to snacks, for like healthy snacking to work, I find that there are like two requirements, convenience and tastiness. So like when you open the fridge, it needs to be like at eye level in your face, just grab a fist of. So blueberries and grapes are like my thing at the moment. But honestly, if we have like sauteed broccoli or like pan-fried tofu in the fridge, I will snack away on this too. And popcorn. I do pop some poppies in my mouth throughout the day when I'm in the mood for something salty. Popcorn is just the best. Besides berries for dessert, I also have some nuts and like dried fruits. My favorites are raisin and goji berries. And my best nuts are walnuts and hazelnuts and almonds and cashews when it comes to like taste. But even though they're of course all ridiculously healthy, the star here is the humble walnut. It is one of the best sources of omega-3s and like the #1 nut for this reason, besides being, tasty as hell. And that's it, I think. I drink the occasional cup of coffee and glass of wine. I eat dinner out, like maybe once or twice a month only. And I'll have like a naked ball, like a piece of chocolate once in a while. And some like more processed vegan meat substitutes, like maybe once every week or so. And David will often cook something, that we don't normally eat on the weekend. But honestly, this is more or less it. Soup for lunch, congee for dinner with dark leafy greens, tofu or lentils, raw veggies and condiments on top, plus nuts and berries for snacks and desserts. That's the standard fare here in Maison Mustard. How does that sound to you? Like boring or delicious? I think if you're used to more processed food and like fast food, a whole foods plant-based diet does probably sound really quite unsatisfying. But for me personally, I feel exactly the opposite. Whenever I eat like highly processed foods or like fast food, it's like most often really quite nasty tasting to me, like too sweet and too fluffy, like you don't have to chew. It doesn't seem like I've eaten after a meal like that. And this is one of the main reasons I eat out so rarely. I'm usually just like not so impressed with the taste and texture. It's too soft, too sweet and too oily for me. So I think it's all habit, like you crave what you're used to. And even though if for some of you might sound impossible, I always crave broccoli or cucumber, just like dipped in some soy sauce. I'm easy to please that way. Crunchy, that's my favorite food. What about you? What do you crave? And what's like the most basic and like highest valued ingredients in your home? Like the food that you just can eat day after day, year after year without ever getting tired of? And are you happy with the way you eat? Or like, do you feel like maybe you need or want to make some changes? Like always, I can't wait to read your comments and see what you're happy with and what you struggle with. Let me know if you want me to make more foodie or health videos going forward. It's like one of my main passions in life, so I'm always happy to talk about food. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet. Alright, I'm actually ridiculously hungry now. I need to have my noodles before I faint. So thanks for hanging out today and see you next week, I hope. Okay, bye bye.